Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I came across this video that honestly feels almost illegal to listen to because of how real this man gets and what he's actually saying. With everything going on in America right now, more and more people are speaking out, expressing how they really feel about the way the Trump administration is running things. We are not stupid. We are seeing with our own eyes. We are watching things happen that are being sugar-coated, renamed and repackaged just to make illegal or inhuman actions seem acceptable. And that's exactly why this Pam Kalaman's message to Black Americans hit differently. He didn't hold back. He called it for what it is, because what we're witnessing out here, it's not love. Deporting people based on how they look or where they came from, that's not love. It's not legal, and it's definitely not Christian. The streets have become dangerous. If you look or sound a certain way, you really have to think twice about stepping out. So let's just go ahead and watch this clip together that I collected for you guys. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll come back at the end of this video as usual to give my own 2 cents. Let's watch this.
Donald Trump's racist provocations are going to lead to violence sooner or later, and that's what he wants. Recently, he issued an executive order that was basically titled Unleash the Police. And last week, his Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice, led by Harmeet Dillon, did a couple of things. She announced that she is shifting the focus of the Civil Rights Division away from what its focus has been for the last 70 years, that made it the crown jewel of the Department of Justice. She is shifting its focus away from discrimination against marginalized communities in the United States, including Black people in the LGBTQ community and women and the disabled, to focusing on discrimination against white Christians in the United States. Religious discrimination against religious people. And we all saw Donald Trump's treatment of the Black president of South Africa in the Oval Office week. Donald Trump is absolutely desperate to get Black Americans out in the streets protesting. There have been a lot of protests over the last 4 months. And every protest that I've gone to has pretty much been white people exclusively. And the police have just hung out on the outer edges, leaning up against buildings. The one protest that I read about where there were a significant number of arrests was in Philadelphia, and most of the people that were arrested were Black people, and the majority of those were Black women. A lot of those were older Black women. But once racial violence in the streets in the United States, and he can't get that unless there are Black people, Black Americans protesting in the streets. He wants that, first of all, because he's and he hates Black people, and he really hates Black women, especially educated Black women. But he also wants to use it as a pretext for his martial law bullshit. And we've all seen his immigration policies and practices over the last 4 months, and what he's doing to brown people and immigrants. And he and his supporters basically want an all-white America again. They want white cis, male-dominated patriarchy, white male-dominated patriarchy, white cis country that is also an authoritarian theocracy. He also, his handpicked U.S. attorney in New Jersey, Alina Habba, who prior to representing him had been an attorney specializing in representing parking garages, and she defended him, such as the case may be, in a lawsuit that he filed against Hillary Clinton and a bunch of other people. It resulted in him having to pay over $1 million in their attorney's fees, Hillary Clinton's attorney's fees. She represented Trump in the civil case in New York that he lost, and he now owes the state of New York over $600 million. And she represented him in the second E. Jean Carroll case that resulted in an $83 million verdict against him. So he rewarded her legal genius by making her the U.S. Attorney for the state of New Jersey. And a couple of weeks ago, 3 members of Congress and the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, went to an ICE detention facility in Newark, New Jersey, and there was a kerfuffle, and there were 2 people. Well, there was one person who was arrested on scene, the black mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, and then this past week, they arrested Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, a Democrat from New Jersey, whose district includes most of Newark, New Jersey. The other 2 members of Congress were not arrested. Add in the 4 months of anti-DEI. I mean, this is an explicitly registration, and I'm sure that it is incredibly confusing to Donald Trump as to why Black Americans are not out in the streets in force as they were during the summer of 2020. And we saw all of the police violence that accompanied those protests because Black people were out in the streets. The last 4 months, the protests have been all white people, primarily. And Trump and local police forces do not meet those crowds with police violence. They just don't. And, you know, it's incredibly important, I think, that people who look like me continue to show up to these protests consistently day after day after day over the next several months or years. But we can always just go back home and at the end of the day and retreat into our whiteness. I heard that phrase from a Black woman on this app. I can't remember who it was, or I would give her credit, but that just stuck with me. We can retreat into whiteness. That's always our top designation category. It's like when you look at the authoritarian playbook, you know, he's got to find an enemy within. And sure, he's got immigrants. He's been railing on DEI. He hasn't yet come out and just you know, when you look at the language that he uses about immigrants, I mean, it's incredibly dehumanizing language, refers to them as vermin poisoning the blood of our country. And he did that during the campaign with the Haitians in Ohio, the Haitian immigrants in Ohio. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. And since Inauguration Day, he hasn't used that kind of language explicitly about Black Americans at scale. But again, I think he's got to be just absolutely dumbfounded at the things that he is doing with his executive orders, what his Civil Rights Division and the DOJ is doing, how he's treated leaders like the president of South Africa, the things he's been doing with DEI. An incredibly administration. I'm sure he's utterly dumbfounded as to why Black Americans are not out in the streets. But if they do, and he gets to use violence, then he will have his enemy within the United States. He views immigrants as an enemy without to get rid of. But if he gets Black people out into the streets, they're going to be his enemy within. He's desperate for it. He's absolutely desperate for it.
So let's talk about this. Okay, honestly, if you didn't feel something, you weren't really listening, because what this man said is deep. You know, it's very deep, especially for those of us who have been paying attention, who are living the experience day by day, and who don't have the luxury of ignoring what's happening around us. He wasn't exaggerating. He definitely wasn't lying. What we're witnessing in US right now is not just political, it's personal, it's deliberate, and it's dangerous. Let's not sugarcoat anything here. There is growing pattern, a very real energy that's signaling something a lot of people are too afraid to say out loud. Black folks are being targeted, not just with words, but with laws, with force, with silence, and with policies dressed up to look legal or necessary, when deep down we know they're rooted in something much darker. And the scary part it's being done right in front of our eyes. It's not like they're hiding it anymore. People are being profiled, detained, and even deported based on how they look, how they sound, or simply because of where they came from. And in many cases, they don't even know the difference between who's Haitian, who's Black American, Caribbean. If you're Black, that's enough. That's what it takes, to be targeted now. We're seeing ICE detain American-born citizens. We're watching laws being proposed that strip people of their rights based on vague definitions of immigrant status. And we're hearing powerful people speak in coded language that paints entire communities as threats. It's a pattern, a strategy, and it's not new. It's definitely getting bolder. And what's even more heartbreaking is the way it's being justified. They're taking immoral actions and slapping a label on them to make make them look legal. They are using religion as a shield, as if there's anything Christ-like about discrimination, racism, or violence. There isn't. Let's be very clear about that. None of this is rooted in love. None of it is justice. None of this is, the kind of leadership that brings people together. The message is loud and clear. If you're Black in America, your existence is being questioned. Your right to move freely, to live peacefully, to belong. Those things are no longer guaranteed. And that's why people, especially palm color allies like the man in the clip, are starting to speak up, because even they can see that this is about more than just politics. It's about human rights. It's about dignity. It's about survival. Now, I know some people might say you are being too sensitive, or we are reading too much into things. But let's be honest here. If you've ever had to second guess your safety just for walking down the street, or wondered if your accent might get you flagged at the airport, or just held your breath during a traffic stop, then you already know that this isn't our heads. It's real, it's happening, and we're not imagining it. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Black Americans or Haitian brothers and sisters, or our African immigrants, our Afro-Latinos. They're all feeling this pressure too. When they come for one of us, they come for all of us. And if they can't tell the difference, or worse, don't care too, then nobody's safe. That's the reality that we're about to face, or facing. And now something even more chilling is unfolding. While we're busy trying to protect our communities, others who once ignored these warnings are now beginning to wake up. I've seen a lot of Hispanics and Latinos say, we try to tell, they're coming for everyone. I'm beginning to think that they were right. I am beginning to think like that because of what I'm seeing. This is no longer just about one group. It's about the slow, calculated erasure of anyone who doesn't fit the mold of what certain people in power think America should look like. So if you're watching this and thinking, what can I do? Here's my answer, just stay away, speak up, share the message, talk to your friends and family. Don't let this become normal, because the moment we stop reacting and, just talking about this, it's exhausting. I am tired of thinking about this. Just imagining it is making me tired. Yeah, because the truth is what is happening in America right now is it's a warning. It's a warning. It's about to get worse. And if you're Black, brown, or simply different, it's a reminder that your safety, your dignity, and your future are under attack. But we're not powerless. We are not powerless. So I appreciate you for sticking through to the end to watch this video, even though it has. The previous video and this one, I think they've left me feeling so sad. Yeah, and I hope this video sparks something, some thoughts, maybe even some conversation. Please drop that thought in the comment section down below. Let's talk about this. What did you take from this video? Are you seeing the same patterns? How are you protecting your peace during these times? As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the real MVP, Yeah, so please stay peaceful, subscribe and share this video, and I'll definitely see you in my next video.